What's up, YouTubers? Today I want to go over my general purpose rifle. Don't really want to get on the weeds on the definition of general purpose because everybody has a different idea of what GP rifle is, but for me it is the rifle that will cover the most applications effectively. It's not really a do all gun, it's a do the most. It'll essentially do the most out of all of the rifle setups that I have. Mine is a 11.5 inch carbine gas setup. This originally started out as a factory BCM 11.5, and over the years it has evolved into the setup that it currently is in. I think I've had this rifle for probably 10 years now, and little by little it's kind of changed piece by piece, and it's gotten to where I think it is optimized for me, in my opinion. Let's start tip to tail on this thing. Tip, I'm running a Otter Creek Polonium K, awesome can. That is direct threaded onto the barrel. I like the direct thread. I've got it hot locked on there. It's been on there for over a year, maybe 2 years now. Never backed off, even after being heated up. Ran high round counts in matches, classes. I really like that can. Quiet, reasonably light, and just super compact. Run a burn-proof cover. I burned my leg too many times to count, and I will always run those on a general purpose rifle. Moving on, we've got the Modlite PLH V2. Good, solid, little compact, kind of all around light. It's got a good throw on it, bright beam. I really like it. The only thing that I am not crazy about it is that it is rechargeable. It's never failed me, but I do generally like to have something battery powered just in case I'm out somewhere and it goes out. I can refill it on the spot without having to charge it up, but it has never let me down in the past. Running a Modlite Mod Button Light, nice, low profile, easy to operate switch there. I ran the Unity hot button for a while on that. It was good too, but I like this one a little better, a little more low profile. Cable management by Arson Machine. I think that is their wire guide, M-LOK wire guide or something. It's pretty cool. They've got some cool cable management stuff on their website. Rail Scales Carve hand stop, just a little mini hand stop, just enough to put your finger in there. I like it. It doesn't really impede going in and out of shooting off of barriers or VTACs or anything like that. And it gives me a little something to pull back into my body. The rail is the SLR. I think it is the Ion Light rail. The reason I went with SLR is they really have a lot of options for length, and you can really optimize your rail to suppressor gap. And this one is a 10.7 on an 11.5 barrel, and for me it's got the perfect gap right there. I think there's probably about a 1/4 inch in between the suppressor and the rail, and it's just been a super solid rail. I've had it on there for a couple years now, and it does the job very well. Barrel's in 11.5 Criterion Core. It's carbine barrel, awesome barrel, sub MOA. Ripcord Industries gas block. That gas block is it's a bitch to get on. If you're running a Criterion barrel, that is a tight fit. I think I eventually froze the barrel, heated the gas block, and had to hammer the shit out of it to get it on there. But once it gets on there, it is rock solid. It's a good combo, Criterion and Ripcord there. One thing that's kind of a little different I'm running is the BRT gas tube. It's basically a custom tuned gas tube, and when you order the gas tube from BRT, they will ask you all about your setup, barrel length, gas setup, what kind of ammo you're running, dedicated, suppressed, or whatever. This gun is dedicated suppressed. It stays on there, and it's night and day, man. That BRT gas tube has really softened this gun up, and it just runs excellent nowadays. Let's see, moving down, upper. I think the upper is about the only original thing from the BCM, and that is the BCM upper and the bolt carrier group. They've been solid. Bolt carrier group's got, I don't even know how many thousand rounds on it. I have put new rings and, you know, the whole bolt carrier group update kit on it, but it's got, I don't know, well over 15,000 rounds, and it's been super solid. Gas or charging handle is the old school PRI gas buster. I think it's the M48. I did update the latch on there. I can't remember who, maybe Strike Industries, I don't know who did it, but it's just a big latch for that, because if you've ever ran that gas buster, it's got a little tiny slippery latch. It's a basic setup, nothing crazy, but it works pretty well. Lower is LMT Mars L, super solid lower. Ambi controls, flared magwell. It's just a great lower. Once you start using those ambi controls, it's really hard to go back to a non-ambi gun. Trigger is the Geissele SDE, I believe, flat trigger, super solid trigger. I really like that one. I've been running the SD3G on my match rifle, and this one is almost as fast, and that flat trigger bow is great. I think this trigger guard is the FCD trigger guard. I can't remember, and I believe the pins are FCD. Pistol grip is BCM Mod 3, maybe. Had that thing forever, and the furniture was actually Cerakoted with the whole gun. Maybe 10 years ago, I had Joint Force Enterprises out of Jacksonville Cerakote the whole gun. It stayed that way for 5, 6, 7 years. I eventually started moving things around. These stayed, and I still like multicam, so I ended up painting the upper and lower with Rapco Field Drab Brown, I believe. If you are painting any rifles, Rapco's awesome, man. They got some really great colors. It goes on very well. Safety, that is the Badger Condition 1, and I've got it set up in a 60-degree configuration. Absolutely love that safety. I think it is my favorite. I've got the Radian and the FCD as well, and the Badger's awesome, man. Super smooth. You probably will have to trim a little bit of the spring on that, because they are super tight the way they come. But once you get it dialed, it's awesome. Buffer setup, just your basic carbine buffer tube and spring. I think I'm running an H2 buffer in there. BCM QD end plate. B5 SOP mod, awesome stock. I run those on most of my rifles, have been for years. Vickers Blue Force gear sling, I've been running those forever. I've got them on all my rifles. I know there's newer, better stuff. I just like them, and I don't really see a need to change. Anyway, optic setup. This is kind of where the GP really comes into play for me. I absolutely love the Razor 1-6. That's the Gen 2E. I've been running it for quite a while, and I've got another one. I've got the pretty much exact same setup on my match gun, and that I run a lot of 2-gun matches and carbine stuff, and I really like this setup. Basically a Razor 1-6 on a 1.7 Badger mount, offset 35-degree SRO. I think this SRO is the 5 MOA. For me, the 2.5 or the 5 doesn't matter. I just brighten or dim the dot and kind of fine tune it to where I want it to be. But for me, that setup is optimal for, you know, out to 500 or 600 yards. I had this gun out. My match gun went down, so I had to get this one up to speed to shoot the Marauders multi-gun match last month. Took this thing out, got it doped out to 600 at Sawmill, and I was making, you know, probably 4 out of 5 hits on an IPSC, you know, full-size IPSC target at 600. So I was pretty impressed with that. I know you get out to 600 with an 11.5, you probably don't have a lot of velocity, but it's still going to hurt you if you get shot at 600 yards. And I'm definitely not making any headshots that far, but I can put minute of man out there with this rifle. But I really like that setup. I've tried the 12 o'clock red dot. I don't like it. I don't like having a chin weld. This one allows me to keep a cheek weld, and I can roll back in very fast. I can also shoot moving because I've got all my points of contact, a good cheek weld. So for me, the offset dot is the optimal setup. The only scenario where I do like a 12 o'clock is if I'm running DMR stuff where you are scanning through the 12 o'clock dot and then dropping down into your optic. That is where the 12 o'clock shines for me. Or I guess if you're running nods, I don't run nods on this rifle, so I don't really need the 12 o'clock mount. Anyway, this setup has really treated me very well. I really think it is about the best setup for GP that I can find. It's short enough and capable with the offset to run CQB. You can run inside buildings if you wanted to with this. I think the overall length of this with the Polonium K is just under 16 inches. It's pretty handy. It is a little heavy. I think this thing is just under 10 pounds. A lot of people are going to say that's not a GP gun. I say if it's too heavy, get stronger. You know, pretty much every rifle I've got is around the 10-pound mark. I think I've got one that might be 8 pounds, but you know, you get used to it after a while. Anyway, that's kind of my setup, guys. Wanted to give you a run through. Let me know what you think. If you have suggestions to optimize the setup, let me know, or just let me know what you think or what your setup is. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.